Hello, friends, Hello, friends, family, strangers, anybody watching. Welcome to Hell with Erin, just Hell with one L, because that's how acronyms work, and it could be worse. For those of you who don't know me, I am Erin. Erin. And my name is Erin. Sorry, my voice is not doing great today, but maybe it's sultry. My name is Erin. Today, I'm going to be covering a little bit about my doctor's appointment with the neurologist, the MS specialist, and then I will be welcoming my husband on for a little feelings corner session. Before I get into it, I wanted to go ahead and start out by saying, go ahead and subscribe. My producer friend has taught me that is a thing that you want to do on YouTube. So go ahead and click the subscribe button, like the videos, comment on the videos. I know that I've said that I'm not going to respond to the comments, but what I mean by that is that I'm not going to full on answer big questions there. I'm going to answer those bigger questions in future videos. So I will be active on there as advised by my producer friend. Also, if you're interested at all and you like spooky things, check out my podcast, Sharing is Scaring podcast, on most podcast platforms, not on YouTube, but you can listen to it like a podcast instead of watching it like a YouTube video. Anyway. So if you watched my last video, you can obviously tell I'm doing much better today. I was really having a hard week that week, and I felt like it was important to still continue to make videos because I'm not always going to be feeling myself. And I think that that's an important thing to show to people, that I'm not always going to be happy and chipper and whatnot. Never lost my sense of humor, but still, depression is real. Since we last talked, I have been to the neurologist. I went and saw the MS specialist. It was more of a consultation type of thing, so it's like the beginning, right? And I've mentioned in a previous video that my diagnosis is a demyelinating disease affecting the central nervous system. Now, with that's not saying MS. So on my chart, it doesn't say MS. I was told in the hospital that it is suspected MS. That's what they believe that it is. They didn't think that it was the Guillain-Barré anymore. They believed MS instead. So that's the diagnosis I've been running with. But is it MS? I don't know. So really, this specialist, we're kind of going to him so that he can tell us a definitive diagnosis. If it's MS, he will know, he will say it, and that will be that. And then we can move forward with treatment, which is what I want and what I need so bad, is just some kind of treatment. The appointment was confusing. If I would have had that doctor's appointment months ago, I would have been very discouraged and not wanted to go back to the doctor. But I have also been trying to process this. It's been like 5 days now, 4 days, maybe not even that many days. I've been trying to process it and kind of swallow it as best as I can. So basically what we've discovered is there is definitely a lesion on the back of my spine. There is at least one spot that he saw on an image of my brain that looks suspicious, but the images were not good enough for him to definitively say that that was a lesion. So I basically am in need of more testing. I get to go through another MRI. There is some ocular nerve testing that he's going to have me do, which apparently will also help solidify that diagnosis of MS or not. From what he was saying is that people can get lesions on their spinal cord or their brain without having MS. It is a different thing. Sometimes it can be a very isolated incident, which could be this scenario. I have questions about that. I'm not a doctor, but I question with my history of nerve issues if this could be an isolated incident. Like, I don't know if like those isolated incidents are something that like boils under the surface for a while and then it all comes out at once. I don't know. Here's the other side to that. The other thing that I'm feeling about that is that that's really confusing for me because I need a diagnosis to cling on to so that I have a plan. And I think that's the only thing holding me together with this is that he has a plan. You know, these tests are needing to be done and like that's the plan. And then treatment can be assessed later once the definitive diagnosis is there. So that's kind of, I'm holding on to that a little bit right now. But you know, I've been holding on to the diagnosis of MS because then I'm like, okay, I know what the beast is and I can try to figure out how to slay it. But is it MS? I mean, here's the thing. I hope not. I truly hope not. But I'm kind of in that scenario where I can't hope too much because I don't want to get my hopes up too high. It is raining acorns. I don't want to get my hopes up that I don't have a serious chronic illness because then I'm setting myself up for disappointment and I have already started the grieving process, you know? Like I can't start that over again. So I'm kind of like in this weird space of like, yes, I hope so. Do I think so? No, like I can't imagine this being an isolated incident. That being said, that doesn't mean that there's not other potential diagnosis that it could be. Diagnoses? Whatever, it doesn't matter. There's other things it could be. So yeah, basically at this point, I still have no treatment. I'm not seeing like major improvement. I am seeing improvement. Them Santa Ana winds. I am seeing small improvements and I do need to focus on those. But you know, it's really discouraging. Like when we went to the doctor's office was far away from the parking lot and there wasn't, oh my God, these acorns. There wasn't a great drop-off spot because the doctor's office was pretty far away from any drop-off, so I had to walk quite a distance. And I was feeling good that day until the walk started. I have no stamina. I can't go that far. And like, you know, it's like I was talking about before, so many spoons. You use too many spoons, you're out of spoons, and then you ain't got no spoons left to walk. That's from a previous video. So if you haven't watched that, you're probably really confused. So basically, like my stamina bar is full at the beginning of the day sometimes. And once it's gone, there's no potions, no elixirs to fix it. At the moment, anyway. I was having a little bit difficult of a time getting all the way there. Luckily, they had a wheelchair to let us use to get me back out to the car, so I didn't have to struggle doing that. So some days I get around great. Some days by the end of the day, I'm not walking very well. Some days I wake up not walking well. And I did say in a previous video that I would share footage of me struggling to walk if I get that. Now, I have this footage that my husband and I took the other day. I was having a fairly rough morning. This is not the worst that I've been, but this is kind of where I'm at least what I think it looks like when I'm at my worst too. Maybe it's way worse. I don't really know. Maybe we can ask Geoff when he's here. But I was struggling to walk that morning. I had a eventful day the day before. I went to the grocery store. I didn't walk around it though. I got to get one of those mobility scooters and ride around, which was so fun. It was so freeing to just like be out of the house and do something different. Like that's where I'm at right now, is that I am excited to go to the grocery store. You can't be trapped in your house all the time. You just can't. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm in a limbo. I'm still going to hold on to the MS diagnosis until that is changed or confirmed, just because I need something to cling on to. I need reason behind the madness, you know? It's been quite an emotional week trying to process that. It's been hard for me to accept that it could change. Like I know I've said that like I'm okay with it changing. Do I think it's going to? No, but like I'll be ready for whatever happens. But you know, you say you're ready for whatever happens, but you never really know how you're going to feel until the moment happens, and that moment hasn't happened yet. But I think the problem is that I'm trying to prepare too much for it. You know, I'm a planner, and I apparently plan out my emotions as well. Speaking of emotions, I think this will be a good time for me to go get Geoff, my husband, and have him join me for Feelings Corner. Welcome, Jeffrey, to Feelings Corner.
Dumb name.
Well, I felt like it was inappropriate for me to say, all right, now I'm going to get my husband on and we'll raw dog our emotions.
Better name.
I've been getting asked a lot how you're doing, how you're handling everything, for like the past 3 months now. And I feel like it's been unfair for me to answer that. So I wanted to see if you wanted to come on and share how you've been coping with everything, how you're handling it all.
I don't know if people will believe me, but I pretty well, honestly. um, I feel like whenever something like this happens, you kind of figure out where your priorities are in life, and um, yeah, I've figured it out. It's made it a lot easier for me to handle the extra pressure. And make no mistake, there is extra pressure and extra responsibilities for me uh,
Yeah.
to handle. But I think I've been able to handle it pretty well outside of a few moments of weakness. And
Which we've
that's,
both had.
yeah, of course. I've kind of figured out where my priorities are, but you've also shown me where your priorities are and how much that you've worried about me throughout this whole process.
Yeah.
And that's made it a lot easier. Like, I know that if the roles were reversed, you would be doing the same. So,
Yeah, but I don't want to.
no, of course not.
I don't want
Yeah.
to do what you're doing. Like I think that it would be harder for me to be in your position than in mine. Maybe that says something about me, but
But I feel the same. Like, I don't want
yeah.
to be in your position either. So,
Yeah. You've stepped up huge. Like I want to say way more than what I expected, but like I've never really expected, you know, it's never
yeah.
crossed my mind. Like I've never thought, oh, hey, like if I get, you know, really sick, like is Geoff gonna help? You know,
Yeah.
like how is he gonna step up? You never know how you're gonna act until you're in the moment.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm just trying to take it one day at a time, mostly. Like, I think after the second emergency room visit where you were there for a couple days, when
Mm-hmm.
we left, or probably even before we left, I had this overwhelming feeling like our life has changed permanently, but we just don't know how much yet or in what ways necessarily.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to guess too much. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to take like what's in front of us and deal with that. And oftentimes that's, doing the dishes or taking out Boney or something like that. That's what's in front of me. That's what needs to be done right now. So I'll do that,
Yeah.
and then we'll take the next step when it comes.
And I think that that is something that I really need to try to learn from you, because I struggle with that. We're different in that way where like you can take things like one bite at a time, whereas like I want to like you know, plan the meal of the future, you know? Like I look at the bigger picture too much, and I need to learn to like focus on the small things and focus on the daily, and you do a good job of that, and I'm not great at doing that. But like that's kind of our differences as well, which I think we've struggled with a lot during this. Like, I mean, we've done great. I'm proud of us. Like, I think
Yeah,
that we have
me too.
handled this situation great. And I think it's interesting though that you said like you felt that moment of like, wow, our lives have changed. I didn't feel that. Like, I've been in denial so much throughout this whole process. I think that, so that was the second visit where we went to the hospital because my legs were numb and I was numb up to my waist.
Mm.
And during that whole time, like, I literally thought this is going to get better. This is going to go away. We're wasting our time going to the doctor. This isn't anything that we need to go for. Like, that never really crossed my mind in that moment. It wasn't until the second or the third emergency room visit, but second hospital stay, that I think it really kind of started to hit me. But in that moment, you know, there's so much going on, I wasn't able to process during that moment. So I feel like I've been lagging behind trying to process everything and like trying to force myself to get out of that denial. And I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I don't think it can be forced. I mean, everyone handles these things differently. And for what it's worth, I do think you're handling it well in your own way, but it's going to be different from mine, and we can complement each other in that way. And I think we
Yeah.
have so far.
Yeah. Yeah. We did have some difficulties because I'm stubborn and I want to do things. And like, so in this relationship, I am very much so the extrovert. I like to do shit. I like to get out of the house. I like to see people and experience things and socialize. You don't.
No, I'm an indoor cat.
Exactly. And that has been really hard because I've been trapped at home, whereas and to being able to not do hardly anything, which is not in my repertoire at all. And then you've been doing extra because you've been having to help take care of me and help take care of the house and Mr. Bones. And so on top of that, you're trying to keep me from overdoing it. And I've been struggling just trying to do something.
Yeah.
And that's been really hard. We've had a lot of conversations about that. And I don't know if you're comfortable sharing that with
Sure.
other people as well. Cause
Yeah, it's
like,
not that personal, I don't think.
yeah, I don't think it's that personal either. We keep a pretty open communication about it all. Like, I mean, we've cried together a lot about how the struggle when, you know, the last video was in a really dark place, and that was a lot of because I haven't been able to do things. I haven't been able to get out of the house. I felt mentally trapped and alone. And we talked about that a lot, and I was practically begging you to let me leave the house to do something.
Yeah. It's a difficult balancing act because I'm not trying to like keep you trapped at home.
Right.
We've just seen what happens whenever you do too much, and I'm trying to minimize your suffering.
I know that. I recognize that. And I empathize with that. Like I know that all that you want is what's best for me, and a little bit yourself too, because it's really hard for you when I'm having bad days. As the video that I showed earlier, like when I'm having a hard time getting around, you have to help me get from one location to another. And that sucks for you, I'm sure, in more ways than one. At the same time, me wanting to get out and do things, and like, no, I know that it it could have bad repercussions, you know. I could be down for the next day, but to me, for my mental state, that's worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do the fun thing even if I suffer the next day.
Yeah, we're figuring out that that's possible now, I think.
Yeah.
We're it's been such a learning process. I've just wanted to play it safe and not risk you like making you worse for the long term,
Yeah.
which I think we know isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think this is a long-term well, we know it's not a long-term situation because when we saw the neurologist the other day, we asked him, we just straight up asked him, if I overdo it, can that progress things? Will that make things worse? And it was a definitive no, right?
Yeah.
They like me being physical, I know, can't uh cause another lesion or something.
Or make the existing one worse.
Right, right. So now that we know that, honestly, I've felt less pressure from you.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game of like how much can I handle, and I being
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Like if you think that you're okay dealing with the bad couple of days, like if that gambit is worth it for you, then yeah, we can do it.
Yeah. I also, I don't know, I struggle with, and maybe it's because, I don't know, I've struggled with this my whole life. You know, it's like, I think of it like this. You know, when I used to go out and drink with friends, you know, and then by the end of the day or into the night, you know, friends were like, Aaron, I think you're done. You don't need it anymore. And I would get so frustrated with people because I'm like, whoa, hey, you don't know my limits. Like, calm down. Don't you tell me. I've done this before. It's fine. And I don't like people telling me what to do either. And when I'm struggling and people are like, hey, Aaron, why don't you sit down? It gets really frustrating for a few different reasons. One, I don't like being told what to do. Two, like, I don't always want to sit down. I know I need to. I just don't always want to. And I think that's a really hard adjustment for me to go from, like, I don't think I finished my analogy. Did I finish my analogy? Or I just said it.
What was the analogy? I don't know if you finished it.
Oh my God. Anyway, they would say stop drinking or whatever, and it would piss me off. And I probably finished the analogy because I don't know where I would have went with that otherwise, right?
You can cut that out.
But yeah, I'm just not good at being told to take it easy. But I feel like I'm getting better at that. Like, we had some friends come into town. Shout out to Sarah and Scott. They came in from New York and spent Thanksgiving with us. And I had a great time. And honestly, like, Sarah kept reminding me, Aaron, you want to sit down? Hey, Aaron, you want to have a seat? And you were reminding me, Aaron, you want to sit down? And like, you were following me around with a chair. And I feel like I handled that really well.
Yeah, you did pretty good. And I think that you have learned that taking breaks doesn't stop you from doing more than just laying down, but
Yeah.
it might slow you down, but it kind of keeps you from getting to that breaking point where
Getting to the breaking point early.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, some nights I'm fine. Some nights I'm not. It's so random and it's so difficult. And the amount of, like, I feel like new symptoms or random symptoms that pop up freaks me out. And I mean, the other day, I don't remember what I was pointing out to you, but I started talking about, oh, well, yeah, I got this. It was the rash came back. It's on my thigh now. And I was like, oh, Geoff, I have this rash. And you're like, stop finding things that are wrong with you. Because I think we both need a fucking break from having things wrong with me. Like, I want to get back to going on bike rides and I mean, that I feel like is a big goal. Like, I want to get back to just walking Mr. Bones, taking our family walks. Like, that was like my highlight of the day. First thing every morning with our coffee. That was fantastic. I miss that so much.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get one of those, I almost called him a scooter. Oh, we should just get me a scooter. You could push me around on a scooter.
Like a two-wheeled scooter?
What if I just sat on a skateboard? Would that work? Bonnie
just-
could pull me. Walker. Hopefully I get a walker soon, and then we can start doing more things out of the house where even if I do get worn down, you can push me around.
Yeah.
That will be great. Because I think that that's the thing is like, I think we're forgetting to think about the fact that I was in the hospital for 8 days in a bed. So a lot of this weakness may not be related to the demyelination. It could just be the weakness from being bedridden for 8 days.
I'm sure it's a combination.
Yeah, like I think that I could get stronger, or maybe I just want to think that I could get stronger pretty fast if I'm able to do these things. But it's difficult to test my stamina without stationary bikes, which I guess is what physical therapy is good for.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to, but my stamina there has been so small that we haven't even been able to get me on the bike there, which is disappointing. But I think that the walker will help a lot. Then I can, go on a walk with you and Bonnie, and then we can turn around and you can roll me home.
Yeah, I'll hand you the leash.
Yeah.
Keep Bonnie in line.
Oh my God, I want that so bad. I want that so bad. We need to get that. Like, I'm honestly, like, I am so impressed and proud of how you've been handling all of this. Like, I don't think that either of us realize how strong you've been.
Honestly, I've been pretty impressed with myself as well, because I know I'm a lazy person. I don't like doing things.
Yeah.
I would rather not. Honestly, I should just get a shirt that just says "I would rather not."
Yeah, that's you.
And that fits my personality pretty well. So it's, I don't want to say I'm impressed by myself, even if I already did.
You did.
Okay, we'll cut that out too. Like, it's just that you never really know how you're going to react to certain situations, like we've said a couple times now, and
I think it's because you love me.
Yeah, it totally is. I mean,
I'm lucky.
It reveals where your priorities are, and now we both know that, and we can act accordingly. Like, it's, while we lack a lot of information, we don't know the future. We don't know exactly what's wrong with you. Every day we don't know, what's going to go wrong with your body,
how I'm going to feel,
how you're going to feel, what part of you isn't going to feel right.
Yeah.
And how that's going to impact our day. When
that's going to happen either. Yeah. Because, yesterday I was having a really good day until later in the day I started getting really sharp nerve pain. Yeah. And it just comes out of nowhere. I didn't do anything to cause that. It just started happening. Yeah. And it's so random. It's scary. But I think that that's the thing. You do need to give yourself a lot of credit for that, because how many people in a partnership will actually be able to step up and stay strong? You know what I mean? It's early, so maybe you won't.
Yeah, it's only been a couple months. Yeah, time will tell.
But I truly do feel like I'm lucky that you have stepped up in the way that you have. Like, I definitely feel love from you. And I don't know, not to say that other people don't love each other. That's just rude. Other people do love each other, but it's not easy to handle, even just like seeing me at my worst. I've never felt like, even at my worst, that I was that bad because of the way you handled it. Like, you never let it show. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you were never like, oh, this is bad. Unless I asked, and then you're like, yeah, it's pretty bad.
I think there's a fine line. You can acknowledge that something is bad, but at the same time, when you were at your worst, we were already in the hospital.
That's true.
In ICU for a part of it. Like, what else can I do about it? Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna freak out and
You're where you
panic.
needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what you kept telling me, like, we're where we need to be. We're where, even though I wanted to leave when we were still in the emergency room, because how many nights were we in the emergency room before being admitted? I mean, I was technically admitted, but we didn't have a room.
I think it was 2 nights.
Was it
and
just 2?
The second night I spent in a hotel room.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God, because I needed you to stay strong and you were not sleeping in a plastic chair. I was ready to leave. That second night, I was ready to rip out the IV and getting. I don't know. You just kept reminding me, like, we're where we need to be. If we go home and you get worse, we have to go through all this again. That really helped me a lot because I was ready. I was going to rip it out. I was ready to go. And you stayed strong through that. And I needed that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thank you for everything. I feel like I wouldn't be able to. I mean, I who knows? But I don't think I could do this without you.
If I had to predict,
how well I would handle it without you.
No, well, it took you forever to finish that sentence, and so I actually thought you were going in a different direction.
Okay, yeah. Go on.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say if it was me, like not. If,
oh yeah.
Yeah, not if you were alone. I think that you would probably focus harder than I have, and then probably burn yourself out a little bit.
Like if our roles were reversed?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would get burnt out so fast.
Yeah. Because just like how you are now, being not like you'd want to do more than you should.
Yeah. I'd be doing surgery on you in the living room. No, I'm kidding. I watched a YouTube video. I can do this. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. Any raw dogging emotions that you're feeling? I feel like this probably would have been more beneficial like a week or 2 ago. I feel like at this point, we've processed a lot of feelings about how this is going together, which is good. We needed to do that. It took time, and I mean, we're not 100%. I just think that we have good days and bad days. Like we have our moments of weakness, I guess, but I don't see it as weakness. I think that it's strong to process things, and it's strong to have emotions. Like, I don't think that that's weak. I think that that is stronger than ever because once you process those, you come out on the other side stronger.
Sure.
So why is that weak? It's not.
I guess it depends on exactly what happens. Like if you're actually processing it or if you're just acting out because you're not feeling great about it.
Yeah. Either way, the release of emotions, I think, is really healthy. And I think we've had those moments and I still have those moments. As if you watched the last video, I was in a much darker place than I am now. And that was literally a week ago. Well, thanks for coming on here and talking. See, everybody, he's doing good. He's taking care of me real good. I love you. I appreciate you. Now you got lip gloves on. Pretty boy. So that's really all that I have for you guys today. I have some testing coming up. Actually, I was able to get in next week for my MRI, and then I got some other doctor's appointments coming up. And yeah, I'm hoping that I can stay strong through the holidays. Once again, I must thank you for watching and ask you to hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment on the video, interact with me, keep me social. I needs it. If you have any questions that you feel like are a little bit more personal and you're not comfortable commenting it, you can always send me an email. My email is on my channel. Private message me, that's fine. Like, I am more than happy to address questions or answer questions, maybe on future videos as well. But if you're not comfortable seeing it where everybody else can see it, I totally understand. This has been Hell with Erin. And also, if my voice sounds weird, it's because I haven't stopped talking for 3 days, so